charge. Some of these things, the spirit is not going to force us. The spirit is not going to bully us. But when we are ready, when we are available, the spirit does the rest of the work. So for us not to get tired, it just gets exciting as it goes on. It gets more, it gets more fresher, so to speak, as we go on. I'd like to say thank you as well, Senior. Thank you for always being so consistent, so consistent. Oh my goodness. Sometimes I just look at them and I'm like, where? Okay, there are levels to this thing. And yet within us, there's the ability to do or to pursue or to seek the same way you are. So I'll say thank you to you and to all of us that are always here. Kamau, Kikonyo is there. I'm seeing you now is here. And yourself for always pulling through. I just like to say thank you. Let's keep pressing on. I'm done.
Hey Sheila, I think we lost Salim. Maybe he went to the bathroom or something. How are you?
I'm good, my dear. How are you? I need to call you.
Yeah, you do. I
Oh
spoke
my
to you.
goodness. It's just interesting. I'll call you. Today I'll call you. What's your schedule like? What time do I call you my time?
You know me. You can. I'm always available. You call whenever you remember or whenever you think about it. Just call, and there we
Oh
can go.
my God.
Because
It,
as long as it's their time, yeah. Um,
yeah.
just call. I
I'll
mean,
call you. I'll call
we
you.
can talk.
It's just been an amazing journey. Oh my God. Amazing, amazing, amazing.
Yeah,
And yeah, and it's interesting how when you think things are falling apart, things are just falling into place. So
you know. Wow.
the way you're
Yes.
almost thinking, oh my God, this thing is shambling. No, things are falling into place. For as long as you'll choose to look at the richer, grander picture. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. That's
yeah,
what like Salim saying. It's important to be in the know because when things are low, oh, it can seem devastating. It can seem like it's
mm,
and and that's
mm,
why you see a lot of people committing suicide.
yes,
Because when they hit those lows, they are not able to ride the waves. I mean, me and you,
yeah,
we have to some lows, and then
yeah,
and if people don't have the right mentality or the right support system, it's very easy to feel
mm,
there's nothing else. You rather just die because you feel
that's
like, oh,
true.
this is the end of it. But again, as you see the other side of it, or the high, now the cycle, when the cycle go back up, it's like you get to see the wow, look at all the things that I went through and
Mm,
all that I was touching, all the answers that I was looking for, and then they're revealed on the other side once you know uh, go through the side of the waves that is low. It kind of
mm,
carries you to the other side. So
that's true.
pretty much that's what life is or has been.
Mm,
So
I,
again, I think
yeah,
for me, what I'm realizing is to take advantage of when everything is just opening up, making sense. Take advantage of that because, as we know, there's always cycles, and now one thing is to also understand how to kind of ride those waves or be
Mm.
able to recognize that, hey, this is something that happens, or this is something that you know goes on in life, where you got pull and pushes, and then again nowadays, like Salim is saying, things are really changing. I mean, you can experience it, you can literally
Mm.
sense it, you can feel it, you can see it. Things are different, things are changing rapidly.
Totally. Totally.
It's it's amazing just to be um, in the awareness, right, and to be
Mm.
peaceful, knowing that all is going to be well. You can imagine somebody who have no idea, right, or somebody who is in
Mm.
darkness. How challenging that can be for them because you know they're probably living in fear. They probably have
Yeah.
a lot of emotions just all over the place.
Mm.
The energy just pushing them, and they don't know why they're being
Why?
pushed. Right? They're thinking,
Yeah.
man, why me? Why me? Not knowing that they're just being pushed to be better or to just be the true selves of themselves.
Mm.
Uh, but again, it's a push. Like I was telling or saying there earlier, for me, the push
Mm.
came, I say the last year or the beginning of last year, or
Mm.
last year rather, there was a lot of push for that because, obviously there was a lot of things that I needed to work on. And
Mm.
the push was so intense that I was like, man, I don't know what's going on. I don't know
Mm.
why me. I'm thinking maybe somebody has nimerogwa, all type of shit was going through my mind, right?
I know, right?
Why me? I mean, I'm thinking, I'm I'm doing things the right way. I'm doing the right thing, but
Mm.
I wasn't there yet, right? I was just scratching the surface. Again, as we know, this is it's never ending. It's a continuous process, right?
Mm.
However, to raise the vibration, right? Sometimes those pushes are needed, right? Or things
Very
are
necessary.
revealed,
Very
right?
necessary.
You're dealing with it get revealed, it get brought to the forefront, so you can be sure, like, look, this is something that you really need to work on, or
Mm.
this is something that you have to really push through it, right?
Mm.
Um, and again, if you're not aware that that's what's happening, it can drive you crazy because you're thinking God hates you.
I know. What's up with this guy upstairs?
Yeah, yeah. Like,
Mm.
why me of all the people, of all everybody? Why do I have to be the one that's going through this stuff? You know.
Mm. Mm.
But then again, once you realize you were just being pushed, it's like in a physical form where a parents pushes the child to be better. A coach pushes one of the athletes harder than others because they see their potential and they know that they're not
Mm.
unlocking it fully, and they need them to unlock it fully. So uh, it has been, for me, it has also been very interesting, to say the least. Especially this year, it has really turned, um, you know, to another page where, you know, I think I was afraid to go. Really,
Mm.
out of it was manifesting itself even physically. About my
Mm.
and things of that nature. So, but I was dealing with a lot of emotional baggage that I was holding on, I was carrying, and
Mm.
again, thoughts. Those two. I had a lot of thoughts that was controlling me, and the emotions. I wasn't able to balance those. And again, due to the lack of the me working on my spiritual aspect of myself,
Mm,
uh, you know, that's why those were coming up, or they were showing the way they were showing. And again,
mm,
um, it's been quite a journey. Man,
yeah.
Salim say, don't call it a journey, don't let it be a journey. But when you're dealing with so much of that, a lot of those challenges,
Mm,
and again, you get to a point where yes, you're like, okay, now I'm able to make the decision. Or some people, I think, because they're not dealing with so much baggage, they are
mm,
able just to be and to know, right, without having the doubt or having the fear, right?
mm,
But I think other people like myself, I was dealing with quite a lot of it, and some fear and some doubt that
mm,
I had to make it a journey. I had to make it like constantly. I had to be like, okay, my mind playing tricks on me. The
mm,
emotions are coming up, and I had to really kind of walk through them, observe them to see where they are, and not push them back
mm,
down, because the way that previously how I used to deal with them is to push them down, right? Uh,
ignore.
Ignore them, right? The thoughts now, what I would try to do is to do the same. And if you do that with the thoughts, they all come in doubles, right? So I
Mm,
wasn't observing them, letting them come to the surface. I was just trying, no, 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 go back, don't. And it was showing in the form of anxiety. I had so much anxiety. It
mm,
was also, again, physically, was showing up physically, because I was constantly pushing them back, pushing them in.
mm,
Thoughts definitely driving me crazy, because those, definitely, if you push them down, they're not gonna go back down. They'll just come
mm,
in doubles. And now, like,
yeah.
what? I don't know what to do with this. I'm going crazy, or I don't know. I've been, somebody's doing something to me or whatever. To those extents, you can see I was
Mm,
going on a very off path. Trying to deal with it. And again, it was just, like Salim said, was just being in the know, being in the aware, and just,
mm,
understanding what's happening, and everything changes. So yeah, I can honestly say that I have really experienced that myself, and I'm,
mm,
continuously um, seeing the growth. I can see, I can experience. I'm aware. Emotions are not,
mm,
as all over the place as they used to be. When they come up, I'm able to kind of relax and
mm,
and pass and see why they are coming up. So
mm.
uh, yes, it's been beautiful. I can say that for sure. Um,
Yeah. I think what we need to encourage ourselves is that when those seemingly negative emotions come out or they're right, when you're talking about seeing, I was just seeing the seed. You can imagine the seed that desires more growth, more seed, more harvest, now having to be put into the ground. And then when it's put into the ground, the darkness that surrounds it, and as this darkness surrounds it, it has to go through. Uh, it has to go through an aspect of death. When it's being broken down, when it's taking on these other conditions, it has to be broken down until it is nothing, so that that which is new in it, that has to come from it breaking down, comes forth. So we become like seed that is planted in the ground sometimes. in the dark emotions, and when you see the dark emotions or these things that are just having to come to the fore of who we are that we have to tackle. But when we focus on the process, when we focus on the difficult conditions, when we focus on the miriness of who we are or what we are that emerges, that has to come forth, you know, that is built, looks like we are breaking down because everybody likes being in charge or in control of themselves. But then everything, you know, everything about you now gets to be in that state where it's broken and it's exposed. But these things that I knew are exposed, and then as they are exposed, the more we submit and surrender to the Spirit, the more new life comes, the more, you know, that which is the old in you has to be broken. And so I have learned, like the same way you're saying that you allow yourself to navigate those paths, you allow yourself to go there. And the thing is to encourage people to go there into that place of darkness that is seemingly dark, or to go there in that place of you experiencing your emotions that are seemingly uncomfortable. Because in the comfort zone, nothing happens, you know. For as long as we're in our safe spaces, nothing happens but growth, transformation, transcendence happens in our comfortable and in our uncomfortable and familiar paths or terrains. That's where growth is. That's where learning is. That's where we get transformed. That is where we experience ourselves. But we have to practice being the way He's just said. You know, you can imagine that seed in that ground, just being, yeah, and allowing itself to experience this new process that it's not familiar with, this new experience, to allow itself to experience, to encounter this unfamiliar, seemingly painful experience, right? Even as it allows itself to experience and to just go through, to be in that state. I know even when the other day there was something that was happening, there was this particular situation that had happened, and as I was like, I would feel like I was so irritable, you know, I was so irritated. I'm like, and at some point, I could hear the spirit saying, you know, even you've had a problem with this when it comes to so and so. So you need to understand that this thing is also has also been in you. And because it has also been in you, now you get to experience yourself on the other side of that person that you've been looking at and thinking, you know? And the spirit was so clear that you need to understand that this was also in you. And so you decide how you're going to navigate this or what you're going to do about it. Do you know, the minute I got that insight, I just embraced it. I said, oh my goodness. And the switch was so seamless, so automatic.
Mm.
Because the minute you acknowledge, the minute you
Yeah.
accept it, the minute you embrace it, the minute you are becoming more aware and more conscious of it, then it lifts. And then you realize that you can actually embrace this other aspect, right? You can embrace this other path that was seemingly or that is seemingly not you or not desirous of you. You can embrace it so that then you come out on the other side, come out
Mm.
better. You realize, oh my goodness, it wasn't really that hard. For as long as we're willing to surrender and to let go. The problem is that we don't like surrendering. Problem is that we do not like, don't allow for the Spirit to lead us, to take charge, sorry, for the unraveling to occur. We don't allow it to happen. And that's why we get to be or to find ourselves in the states that we're in when we're in resistance, not being. not conscious, not aware, not aligning, not in tuning, you know, not indwelling within ourselves, because then you have to get into yourself. You have to just connect with that which you are, or connect to that which you're actually experiencing, for you to experience to have the transformation you need. So uh, that's, as you are talking, I just saw that analogy of the seed. So it's okay for us to go there. It's okay for us to experience the heart. I know Saliman said every time we talk, she would say, you know, there's some things that, the Spirit will allow you to experience again as it draws you out. You get, you experience those things. It's so raw, so raw, because it's like you're reliving a new movie or your drama, the drama of your life yourself. Yet you are in it, you're part of it, then you are out of it, observing, then you're the one who's also directing it, then at the same time you're also the one who's the producer, then at the same time you're the one that is your own critic, you know. So you're the one who's just busy acting it. Everything about us, by the way, I realize is not wasted. So these situations, as much as we are part, we should use them for our learning. We should use it for our equipping. We should transmute the painful experiences, the uncomfortable, the discomfort that we will experience in these parts that are unfamiliar, as that which is in us dies within us to give birth, not new growth. You can imagine being in meditation and knowing and experiencing that there's something that is new, that your world has shifted, and coming out. And there's just a knowing, yeah? And coming out and looking at your world. And then you're thinking, okay, I still exist here, you know? But then you realize that it's new. You just know. There's just this thing that is in you that knows, by the way, I'm not in I'm not in the same world. Even though you're in the same world, I just found it very interesting. So entering into different levels of existence, and they are all going simultaneously. And there's a life. Come on, it's like there's a life. Let me try and explain it. It's like the way we've seen 5 lanes of cars, yeah? All of them driving in one direction. As in, they're different levels, they're different lifestyles, they're different worlds that are connected with you, or that are part of you, that are all going concurrently. And all we need to do is just to like change lanes. I don't even know how to say. But that's the best that I can be able to say. I think there are multiverses, so to speak, that are all about you, that are in existence at the same time. And the level that you're in, you're experiencing. Yet you can change and get into the next level as easy and as effortless as changing lanes on the highway. And yet now you being able to embrace it, you know, physically, and just in your innermost being, just tapping into that. I mean, it's so weird. I don't even know how to say it, but one of the most weirdest yet most fulfilling yet most affirming experiences that you can. Yeah, that you keep on calibrating into this new level. And then when you are there, then when you are experiencing, I call them life's interjections, allow yourself to just experience it, um, morph through it, grow through it, transform through it, develop into your higher self through it. And then as you have made a decision to transition, you wake up and you realize or you sit and you realize I'm transitioning, and then you have entered into this new level of existence, and yet they are all there with you concurrently at the same time. It's just weird. But I've also learned not to limit myself or to put a ceiling or to put a kappa on lived experiences. And the more you abandon yourself with reckless abandonment into the spirit, into beingness, into consciousness, into intentionality, the more you abandon ourselves, the more we experience it more and more afresh and afresh, and it doesn't end. It just doesn't end. It keeps on going on, going on, going on. So yes.
Wow, that's amazing.
Mhm.
That's beautiful. That's amazing just to have to experience um, life, as it is. Because again, we can have tell us about something or teach us about something, but once you experience it for yourself, and yeah, sometimes some of the experiences you don't even have the words to explain them. But once
Mm,
you have that, it's just like life changing. It's like wow, that is something that it's your own experience. Nobody else can
absolutely.
tell you anything about it, or
Absolutely.
you don't even have to speak about it, right? Be only speaking about it for testimony or just to share it with us. But just for you to know that, it
To
just
know.
mind blowing. Like again, as you can see, there's no even words for it to fully
We
explain
can't
what it
express.
is.
Yes.
Right, that you
It's
experience, right?
yeah.
So yeah, those are the beautiful and the true uh, experiences that really get you, to understand life more or to experience it more.
And you
On
see
those,
sorry. Finish.
right?
You see the thing is that it's like they're triggers. Mm, situations, circumstances become like triggers that trigger you. They like um cause a reaction or cause a form of existence of a form of consciousness that
Mm-hmm.
trigger beingness in you or demand you to be for as long as you're on this path and you're on this journey. We are new every other second, every other minute. We're not the same. I now walk so conscious of the same, so aware, so alert of the same. And so those situations, those negative emotions, those experiences, the encounters that we experience every other day, they are like triggers. So they'll trigger you, or even our traumas, they trigger us into getting to that path of being this other person, of transcending, of moving, of growing. Unfortunately, many of us end up in negativity. We handle it wrongly because we forget to work it. We need to do the work and not just do the work. It is the internal work. It is the personal work because more often than not, we will look at other people when in essence it's all about us. And one thing that I have learned is that we will put a demand out of life uh, based on who we are, based on our purpose, based on who we are becoming. We will put a demand out of the vortex of life, so to speak, that will cause us to be led into a particular path because of that which we are. So subconsciously, you realize that you go down this path because there's a demand upon you to be this being or this entity that you need to morph into. And so the natural way of doing it is that everything in your existence now begins to draw you out. So it is you who indirectly, unknowingly puts a demand on the kind of experiences that you will encounter based on who you are, based on what you are, based on where you are supposed to be, based on who you're supposed to be, based on where it is that you're supposed to go, based on what it is that you're supposed to do. So there's that divine purpose, you know, there's that ultimate plan that is there that consciously, when you know, you can consciously work, though unconsciously, you send out those kind of demands into the universe, and now everything else aligns itself to you. So the one that has put the determinant of the same is you. Yeah, because then there's the deep yearning or the deep drawing out or the uh, deep calling upon deep. You know, the spirit calling out to you, and then your spirit calling out to the spirit, and then the communion of what you are, of who you are, aligning with your purpose, aligning with the ultimate you know, that is supposed to be like Christ, or that is supposed to be like the spirit, or that is like supposed to be like divine source, or so the demand is there and it keeps on drawing you out into this place, and then you keep on going deeper and deeper and deeper. And the deeper is in terms of going deeper and deeper into the very essence or into the very core of you, to dig out these things, to dig out who you are, to dig out what you are. So it's a very interesting experience, explaining to someone. But what I like is that even these conversations now become as a form of trigger, because then we plant a thought. By the sharing, you realize that an imagination is birthed out of the sharing. There is an insight that that is now deposited into our spirit, into our inner being, and then like a seed, that word now begins to put a demand, because the way Salim is saying, there are things that we can talk about that at that particular time you don't get it, you don't grasp it, you don't. But as time goes on, then you realize the drawing out, you realize the breaking, you realize that just these conditions that are going through, yeah, that you're going through, that now ultimately catapult you to the same place or to this next place. It's like a baby being born. And when this baby is being born, you're it is used to the comfort zone. You're used to the comfort zone of being in the belly of the universe. We are used to the comfort zone of being in this place or in this state that we are in, right? And then we are used to dwelling and abiding in this comfort zone. And as we do, imagine what happens. You awaken, and then this baby has to come out. And then this baby has to come out of its comfort zone. And then in this comfort zone, the baby is just used to staying there. Everything else is fine. Everything else is flowing. And then now you have to go through the birth process, that transitioning from that comfort zone into you having that child having to experience the coming out. You can imagine how that is so uncomfortable, how that is so, even for the child, because I know as women we are able to relate. If we have given birth, we are able to relate it in another way. Your discomfort, the privilege of now being a woman, is that we have experienced some things that men, you guys, will only now experience in your physical. But now for a woman, you understand the discomfort, first of all, as a mother. But even all of us have been a child in the womb, and you can imagine the process, because we've seen other movies or what, people acting it out, how a child comes, the discomfort, and where you, as a mother, you have to be able to churn out that which is in you. You have to bring it out. Otherwise, if you don't handle it nicely, then the new birth will not happen. You stand at risk of losing your own life. You stand at risk of losing the life of this child. So you as a child, you are also there struggling. We used to say, hata anisaidi. Mothers say that. Hata huyu mtoto anisaidi. There are children that will come up, pum, 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 and the others that are lazy. They just want to be there and they leave you to do all the work. You know, pambana na hali yako. But within no time, I tell you, as a woman who's gone through labor, the pandemonium, the your body breaks up in pain that is, you feel pain in every tinge of your body, in every nerve of your body, from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet. The pain, vibrates in every, aspect of your body, every essence of every part of your body you can imagine. It's like every nerve is just feeling all this pain, and especially when it's natural birth. Oh my goodness, everything about you just is in pain, and yet the pain gets to be so intense. But the minute that baby passes through, I tell you, in an instant, it all ends. It changes. Yes, you remain being raw, but you just, everything about you changes in an instant. You're not in pain anymore. The discomfort is gone. Oh, it's like oh my God, you've come out from the other side and just enjoying this new experience. And you forget that pain. The minute that child passes through, you forget that pain. It lifts, it shifts. Yeah, the next phase in terms of now having to come back together again, your body healing, your womanhood healing, everything about you coming back to what it was before. But yet here you are, you've given birth to this new aspect of you. It's a new version of you. It's a new, the very essence of what you are. And so it becomes, it's a very exciting experience. And now I've learned how to allow myself to go to those places. In fact, when I see myself getting into those spaces, I have to allow myself to be. I have to allow myself to experience, to encounter, to go through it. Because as I go through it, as I encourage myself to go there, then I know there is birth at the end of it, birthing a newness, a new me is coming out of it. So that for me is my incentive to embrace, to just embrace the challenges, to embrace the awkwardness, to embrace the discomfort, to embrace everything that is of that experience, um and just live life intentionally and aware and alert and yielded and not resisting, but embracing, accommodating the transitioning, and as painful as it is, just going with the flow and allowing that which is to be and that which is to become. I mean, that which is to be and that which is to end, to seize, and then that which is to become, to manifest. So you can imagine the transitioning of all that. You're like in your past, in your present, and then in your future, all together, simultaneously, concurrently, in your now. Yeah, that's it's just one of the most amazing processes that someone can experience or encounter, and that makes it even very exciting every other day as we keep on showing up in this school of life or in this game of life. It's very exciting.
Yes, Sheila. Let me tell you one story. You were talking about
babies being when they're coming out of the other world to this world. It's very crazy because when babies come in, what they do the first thing is they scream. They scream. First
Mm.
thing from the mother's womb, they scream because. And what I know is that babies of all animals, they do everything the first day. Our babies are dumb for the first many months because when a soul pops in, what it immediately it comes in. The reason why the baby cries is always the soul. It is like it is in a shock.
Mm.
When a soul enters this reality, it is always in a shock. And those souls which enters humans, it's like they fall into a shock like wow, like you pop up into another reality and it is another stupid reality,
Mm.
very strange than yours, then you and you cannot go back that same moment. Then you get in a shock. You are out of words. You cannot speak until you are many years. You are out of strength. You cannot walk until you are taught how to walk, until you gather strength to walk.
Mm.
And what I always say, this is my thoughts. Like it is like that in the village where there is that river and many children playing. And these children they know that there is a point here when you dive here and get out of that other side underneath the water you are going to experience. There are many experiences, crazy experiences and learnings. When you go outside the other side, you have learned things, but it is very crazy. So there are many kids at that bank of the river, and they are pushing one another. Go fast, go fast, go fast. You go fast, you go fast. And they start jumping that river. They jump. They're having fun. They want to get the experience. When they get, it's fun for them. It's fun. But when they pop in, immediately dive into the water and they pop up into the third density reality. And they are shocked because they forget. They are shocked because it is a crazy reality
Mhm.
and they have forgotten where they have come from. They know that we are not from here, but where are we from? Like they are lost, they get scared. That's when they're screaming now. And the soul gets scared. They like I'm going to be here for another 50 years before I leave this place. But in actual sense, for that soul, for the boys which are playing at the edge of the river, for them coming, diving in and getting out there, it is that thing of 3 seconds, cha, and then they come up from the other side, cha. So for the soul, actually, reality is that it's like jumping in and out. But that immediately it get to that point of in before getting out, there is a state of forgetfulness which makes you feel like stagnated and trapped. But at the end, you pop up from the other side. When you pop up from the other side, when you get out of the boys get out of the other side of the river, they say, wow, it was just a stupid thing, just jumping here and jumping here and out. Only was that was making me struggle, strive, and everything in the water. Only 1 second, only. That's what is happening. That is what is happening. The soul, the soul when it comes for a very short time. It's because we are in physicality, but this one, for a soul, this is less than a second.
Mm.
It's the same story of the boys who they jump in and out, but immediately they're in, what they experience there, the experience of years, and when they pop up here, they realize that it was something simple and easy like that, jumping in and out because they're already out. But when they were in there, they
Mm.
felt trapped. So that is what is happening, and the whole thing,
Mm.
the whole
I.
path of this, the whole path of this walk is to attain knowledge. Every moment to become, to know, to be renewed, and to have new knowings and understandings which are grander than the past. Every moment you have to have a grander knowing. Every moment. That is what God is.
Mm.
God is ever knowing. Ever knowing means He knows something new every moment. Because if it
Mm.
is ever knowing, He is not re-knowing something He knew before. He is knowing, ever knowing. It is
Mm.
continuous. Therefore, is knowing something new every moment. And this is who we are supposed to be here. We are Many people do not take this title which belongs to them. We are God's in training.
Mm.
And all aspects which we are told to partake of are godly aspects. That thing of ever knowing is that state of just be, just state of being, knowing what, just knowing. Because immediately you put a what under something, you have limited that. Ever knowing. What are you knowing? I'm just knowing. When you are walking in this awareness of I am just in the state of knowing. I am, I am, I am just in the state of knowing. I do not know, I am knowing. The more I know, the more I know, the more I'm knowing.
Mm.
Therefore, I cannot say I'm knowing this or that because immediately you say that and this, there you have reached. It is just in the state of knowing. That is the state of nothingness. When people are told that God is in this, God is in, was and is in the state of nothingness. That's the state of God, the state of nothingness. Because if everything is within God, nothing exists outside of Him. In what other state can God be if not is the state of nothingness? Nothingness, because there's nothing outside of Himself which He can express with. Everything is within Himself. Just like if you are told, Sheila, there's nothing existing outside of you right now. If everything is removed outside of you, and all what is present is your blood and everything working in your body cells and everything, which state will you be at? It's the state of nothingness. You won't even move a feet because if you are told nothing exists, outside of you, it means nothing exists. Even space, because space is something you can move your leg. When nothing exists, it is nothing. Like you have been put on the ground and cement put over you. State of nothingness. You cannot, it's nothingness. That is the state of God. And the same state to which God says and instructs us, like you guys you just have to be still. To be still because the kingdom is now and it is at hand. You have it at hand where you are, it is you have it at hand. It's not near your hand, at your palms of your hand. That is where the kingdom is. And it is now. Meaning that that is the same state of the nothingness. Because if the kingdom is at hand, let's say it is your in your the kingdom is on your hand right now. You are holding it, and it is now, and you have it already at hand. Will you already have the kingdom at hand there, wherever you are at hand, and now that moment, will you need even to go somewhere else? You do not need to move. You move forward, and the kingdom was already there with you at that moment. What else do you need? What lacks with the kingdom that you have that will make you move? If it is the space to move, it is there in the kingdom, which is at hand, you holding it. All what you need in the kingdom, everything. Therefore, you will need nothing outside. Nothing outside. Because everything is within the kingdom. The kingdom is a state of completeness and it is ever knowing and expanding. And it lacks nothing. Therefore, that is a godly state. It takes the knowing. This knowing, people think is just the knowing that God is one infinite creator. It's not just the simple knowing of word of just lip service. It is the knowing, it is not only the knowing, but making it your state of being. Because the state of being is the state of becoming. State of being is the state of becoming. That is what the knowing is, the deeper knowing. Because to know something, for you to know something, you have to become that thing. To know something, you have to become that. Then you have the knowing. Without becoming that, it is a belief. Without becoming that, it is a belief. That's why people are believing in Jesus. Yesterday I told you, Sheila, there is a field and there is a path in the middle of the field. Jesus is at the end of the field. People want that Jesus on the other side of the field. There is a path there. It only takes them walking the path, the same path that Jesus walked and stood at the other side. Just walking the path that he walked. But they cannot do that. They cannot do that. Therefore, what have they sought to do? They have sought a belief. Hi, Jesus, at the other side of the field. We believe you are Lord and Savior. We believe him that he's Lord and Savior. But we cannot walk the path that He walked just to the other side of the field. And we sing in churches, we want to be with you, Jesus. We want to be like you, Jesus. And Jesus at the other side is saying, you just need to walk the path that I walked. It is here, this path, just come straight. Then immediately you reach here. You where I am, you will be there. Therefore, you will be with me, and you will be like me, because you will have walked the same path that I have walked. Not unless you walk the path, you have the knowing. When you don't walk the path, it is a belief. I believe God will have mercy on me. Beliefs do not work, because how can God have mercy on your negative experience while your thoughts are negative? But if you walk with the knowing, you know my negative thoughts have brought this shit. I know I created it. Therefore, I know that I have learned I am not that, I am becoming this. I renew my mind. You have the knowing. It's not belief. Belief is in magic shows only. It no longer works with God. It no longer works with God. Let me tell you, it no longer works. Believing, it no longer works because it does not bring you to oneness with God. It does not make you one with God. Becoming one with God is experiencing what to be God is. To have the deeper knowings that I know my thoughts are creating this. And I'm not believing that it's the demon, they are the demons who are doing this. It's Satan who's bringing me trials. I know it's my own bullshit thinking which is messing me up and changing my thoughts. You believe it is Satan who wants to bring you down because you are taking to, you are always offering, you are always faithful to your tithes. Let me tell you, the Satan remains there because the knower has known and has renowned. You keep believing what believe you believe, it comes to pass. The same demons, whom you say they are giving you trial, you believe that. Let me tell you, that belief is bullshit. It puts you in a hole. Everyone is having their own experience. Belief is the same thing of cows being put in a, or animals being put in a zoo, and all told one thing, that listen, you can pray facing this side, and we agree, okay, we face this side. It is a belief that we are going to get God. And they never tell you that everyone is experiencing their own reality. They never tell you that. They tell you, unless you face this side, you're going to experience that. Unless you jump into this hole, let me tell you, immediately you jump into that hole, shit happens. because everyone is experiencing their own reality. The only truth which leads you to God is your own personal truth. Your own personal truth can never be changed by any belief outward. Never be changed. Never. It can never be changed. Your personal truth, that which you have come knowing, it can never be changed. But a belief is something of a group thing. Hey, let us jump here. Immediately you jump into that hole, everyone is experiencing their own crazy experiences, different of what they have been promised. That is what is happening in this world. In religious and spirituality, it is that people are just told, jump here, and they jump. Yeah, always. It is even the masters and the gurus, they say, jump here. All truths are half truths. All truths outside yourself, all truths. This is a warning. It's not, this is a warning. It's not a disclaimer. It is a warning. All truths are half truths. All truth outside of you, no matter who told you what, all truths are half truths. The grander truth is within. The inner, if you know something, let me tell you a story. I have a friend whom I met I met last time, it was like many years back, like 20, more than 20 years. And he was a Muslim, and he met me and he told me, hey, I heard you are no longer a Muslim. Then for me, it was just a casual talk. I told him, yeah, I left it. Even at all other religions, all religions, I've left them. I'm tired. I told him that I'm tired. I got tired of your God, their God, and their God. Me, I'm also having my own God now. And to that guy, it was a shock. And he was telling me some passages. Oh, Allah says, this, you shall burn in eternity. And I told him, bro, listen, come, sit here, sit, sit here. Then I told him, breathe, relax. Then I told him, listen, I am here next to you. Call him. Call him right now. Tell him to roast me right now. Right now, I am here. Don't speak a lot of things. Call him. Tell him I'm daring him to come and roast me right now here. The guy was shocked. Shocked. To him, it was a shock. To me, it was a grander truth. Because the God that I believe is a God of love. We are parts and pieces of God. We are one with God. Therefore, God cannot burn God. God cannot burn himself. And if he burns himself, well and good. He's burning himself. I don't care. Period. This truth, no matter who comes, I tell them. If they tell me I'm going to be roasted, I tell them, listen, if it's to be roasted, if it is the story of to be roasted, I don't want even to enjoy this life. I want it today. When you know to the grander truth of who God is, because all what has been sold to us of who God is a scam. It is a scam. Because there is nothing called God. There is nothing called God. That which is the source has got no name. It has not, it is ever knowing. People should know this. It is changing, becoming new every moment. It can never attain a name. There's nothing which is called God, which is infinite. Immediately it is defined or described. What has been defined and described is not God. Here I'm always telling you, God is a mystery. Even then is above that. Even that word above that, he is above that. When someone asks you, what is God? And you tell them, God cannot attain an identity because it cannot have an identity because cannot attain is ever expanding, ever new, cannot attain a name. So he is nameless. Hey, let me tell you one thing. God is above that too. That being nameless, he is above that. And even if someone asks you, what is God? And you even don't want to speak anything and you be in the state of silence because God cannot even attain a sound and be in the state of silence. Let me tell you one thing. God is above that too. That one is above that. Open your perception if you want to experience God. Don't take God, lock him in a cage, and then set times and days of you also going in the same cage and telling that God which you have locked in a cage that you are worthless before him. You are dirty and useless before him. Let me tell you one thing. We are just exploring what God is. Because that's which we call God is not God because we have already given a final definition. God is above that which is unknown is above God. Above that, God, the word God, this thing we call God, we are just calling it, it does not go above the clouds. This one you have to know, people. I'm telling you one thing, if you want to experience God, remove all spiritual primitivity. And after you remove spiritual primitivity, wake up your spiritual common sense. All these dramas you are seeing here of spirituality, of religion, of beliefs, these ones, the highest they reach is the clouds. From up the clouds there, they are not valid. Stop limiting yourself with this world of appearances. Nothing is valid from up the sky. I'm telling you, just here, few feet here. Nothing is valid. Immediately you get out of this planet, your religion is not valid. No one knows who Jesus is. They don't know that. They don't believe that. They have never believed that. Immediately you go out of the the Earth's atmosphere. Immediately you vacate the Earth's atmosphere, just here, few kilometers, 8 kilometers from down here. Religion, these dramas of religion, spirituality, face here, face there, they are not valid. They are not valid. Oh, darkness and light, they are not valid. There's no light and darkness out above the clouds. It's just here. People have to wake up. The other time I told her, oh my God, I don't know where we are going. We have got a long way to go because that moment we always think that we are boasting that we are in this journey. We have not even packed our we have not even washed our clothes, not alone, let alone packing them and even booking the bus. We have not started the journey. We are too primitive. You are boasting your religion is a true religion. And it is valid up to the level of the clouds. From outside there, no one knows about it. They don't know your Jesus, they don't know your Muhammad, they don't know your Allah, they don't know anything. They do not know of these things which you are talking about here. They don't know. The reason why the fact is things. I'm laughing today. If I tell you how dumb we, if I tell you guys how, if we knew how dumb we are, the reasons why the angelic beings, the ones who are doing channelings, they will always refer to when they're channeling. They tell you to the one who walked on this earth, who you call us Jesus, and the one you call us Mary, and they will refer to them. Do you know what? Their channeling is always given in regard to the perception of that density. This density believed in fairy tales of prophets and cartoons. We bring them the word of God, the name of prophets and cartoons. We channel that. These things are not valid. When you are in a plane, immediately it is cutting. When you are up above the clouds, know that there is no religion. No one can preach you about God there. God exists here in this planet only, not outside there. Outside there is something else. Let me tell you. From fourth density going up, these stories of God, there was a prophet, he did this, he's going to do that, and this does not exist. Everyone is focused on their path. They are of negative, focused where they are within, all of them within, everyone. Hey, where is everyone? Within. They are within. Hey, you guys, why are you looking? Fifth density, sixth density, what's happening? Why is everyone not around? We are within. Why are you seeking? There is something. There is something. There is some mystery. There is us within. We are with, there is no stories of bullshit and bull that nothing. I'm telling you, this is the most primitive density in the universe. The most primitive density in the universe. It is that density, the most primitive. First density is not primitive, it is intelligent. That is what fire is. Elements are water, air. They are all intelligent. Second density of planets, animals, and ants. They are intelligent. You can see it in them. They communicate telepathically. When shit is about to happen, they will read it last month. You guys are still down there. Third density is the most primitive density. Then immediately go to the fourth density, again, it comes back. You can communicate telepathically. Even stones communicate telepathically because stones, they communicate. Immediately they are given identity by humanity that this is this stone and that is that stone. You bring awareness to that. Ye are gods. First density things or forms, they get awareness through man. A stone knows is in awareness that I am a stone, not this stone or that stone. Man out of his creativity power is what brings awareness to the stone that I am this stone and not that stone. And it's the same thing that brings separation because the stone initially knew that I am stone. Not this stone or that stone. I am stone. That's what I'm telling you. They are intelligent, and that's how we are supposed to be. Knowing that we are, I am. That is what rocks say. Before you go there and say, this rock is this side, and put a mark on the other rock on the other side, you bring separation to them. We are bringing separation. When you say this rock and the other rock, you have already brought separation and you bring awareness. This rock becomes aware that it is not that rock. Because its awareness, it knows that I am state of beingness. They're intelligent. Second density, the same thing. Third density, primitives. They cannot communicate telepathy. You just need to wear a Halloween gown with wings and come and tell them you are God, they will worship you. Because humans, whatever is mysterious, they have only two options. They either worship it or demonize it. Period. No any other third category. We are most them. When we are told we all have to the kingdom of God, you jump through this hole, people jump, not knowing that what they are seeking is very near than their own noses and mouths. What they seek is very near than their own eyes. Your eyes are very far from that which you seek. Your own eyes are very, very far from that which you seek. But we are dumb. This is the dumbest density of appearances and illusions, things which do not exist. They do not exist because they change form. Today it's a bottle, tomorrow is waste, the other day is a dump site, the other day it is at a recycle plant, another day it has been made, the bottle has been made a bowl. Changing and changing. It's not stable. This reality is not stable. It changes. Everything in this reality changes. Do not get to that. When you get to that, you become that reality. You changes to you go that reality which grows old and die off. Your true reality is that reality which becomes new all each and every present moment, becoming new, becoming born again. That is your true reality. This density is the density where it's called the density of gatekeepers, where they are the gatekeepers. If you jump after you jump this density, the other densities you are just in neutral gear. But this density, it is a steep hill, very steep hill. The gates have been put here, and people are being like what wanachujwa forcefully. This is what you have to know. This density, people are being trapped here forcefully. That's what I'm telling you guys. Be aware. When I'm telling people, let us stop these jobs, people are thinking, and people, souls are trapped here forcefully. Souls are recycled here forcefully. People. Man, there are 1,000 traps. I'm telling you, there are 1,000 traps. Nobody, you don't need even 1,000 traps. They put 10 traps for you. Jump. Yes, if you're the sleeper one, you jump up to the fifth trap. Because you jump one trap, the other one is more bigger than the other one. And there are million traps here. People are trapped here forcefully. And this forcefully is out of their own free will. This third density illusion is the dumbest. I'm telling you. First density, second density, intelligent. Third density, dumbest. Fourth, going up, intelligent. All of them. This is the dumbest. And it is the dumbest because and people get trapped because people get trapped in the physicality. This is this physical density of appearances outward. Because immediately our souls jumps in here. It is forcefully pulled outward. God is all about what it is written, what you can see, what you can touch. It's about the Jesus who walked in flesh. It's about the things you can see. Blessings from God are cars and mansions. When we get cars and mansions is when we can, and money is only what we call as testimonies. We go praise God that thank you. I give a testimony because I have gotten a car. And all attention is being given outward. Let's see God get things, more things of outward. Take seeds to the church, get more things outward. It's about mansions. The more you give, the more about mansions, money, and prosperity outward. And you get outward, step outward. That which is within It does not die. It goes into stasis. It goes into stasis. Immediately, when it is in stasis, it is not dead. It is in a state of, like they said that the Anunnaki beings, they were discovered in some, it's like a Grand Canyon or where, somewhere they were found in a hole. That hole, the hole was full of crystals. They are in state of stasis. When you are in state of stasis, you you are in state like it is a state of sleep, not dead, but state which you can stay even to 1,000,000 years. You are there, but in sleep, but you are there alive. It's not death, it's not sleep. In stasis, you never grow old. You are just there, present moment, there in the present moment, stuck, stasis. That is what the spirit does within. It goes into stasis. You get stuck outside, it goes to that, and you are disconnected with the spirit within. You are stuck, trapped with the external. It goes, it becomes that. Then you reincarnate over. When you come back, you are still stuck. It still, it is ready, I'm telling you, even for 1,000,000 years. Sheila, I told you today very clearly that we who are seeking God by all means, and those who are joking, we are loved at the same measure. Because every soul that is at the same, is at the right place at the right time. And again, and again, all souls, all the souls, because this thing is journeying back to the source, becoming one, and then God will explode outward again. So at the end of the day, every soul will ascend. Therefore, if they are those souls which they have decided is a journey and they want to experience the third density, even for 1,000,000 of cycles, 75,000 years, one cycle, times 1,000,000 times, repeating class, they are at the right time. They will be at the right place, at the right time, and loved the same, with the same love of God. God will love them with the same amount of love God loves those who are moving higher and higher to higher densities. That's why I have told people that from now it is a personal journey, people to focus on themselves. You cannot save anyone. Everyone you are seeking by all means. Let me tell you one thing. Those who are sleeping right now, dreaming at their houses, waiting for tomorrow morning, right now, they've woken up, starting worrying about the bills of tomorrow and this and that. And them and you, let me tell you, they are asleep, they are enjoying let me tell you, the love which God has to them is the same which He has with you. So don't think that God is favoring us. It's not favoring us. The same love is given to those who do not seek Him. The same love is given to us. Every soul walks its way, it has its own choices. Immediately you push someone harder, you have infringed their free will because you will manipulate them. You are reaching their free will. Their will already is that they are ready to repeat the next third density. That is there. Do not In fact, in this planet, we are even not supposed to be preaching and teaching people. It is a planet of free will. It is a freestyle dancing. Like, hey, Aya, start living. You live. You preach to yourself. Ask yourself questions. Everything. Be with yourself. That is the true nature of what God is. Be with yourself. That is what it's supposed to be. Free will. Be with yourself. Think what you want to think. Be with yourself. Do not interrupt anyone outside because everyone is enjoying everyone is experiencing their own reality. Therefore, do not violate any other person's space. Stay in your space. Be with yourself. Do not poke other people. Be there in the presence with yourself, by yourself, with yourself. That is the whole story about the universe is about that only. It has nothing. It's about that. About that. I was listening. I was listening to another video last time, and then it was said that it is we are just thoughts of God. Like this, everything, the universe is the thought of God, and we are just thoughts. We are just a thought. Stop dramas. Relax. You are just a thought. Stop pushing and pulling. You are just a thought. You are being projected from somewhere else, not here. Stop pushing and pulling things. You are supposed to just be still because the universe is in a perfect divine order. Immediately we start pushing and pulling, we interrupt with the perfect divine order. Take no thought of what you are going to eat tomorrow, what you're going to wear tomorrow. You are a thought, my friend. If you are a thought pattern of God. That thought, the same way of your thought, they are projected by something else somewhere. This is the mind of God. Outside of God, I don't know where. You are a thought and you have been directed because if God is ever knowing, then the thoughts of God are perfect thoughts. Then if you are playing, if you are a thought of God, you are in a perfect alignment. We are missing God because we do not know what God is. Because I tell people God is nothing. Because nothing exists. Nothing exists. God is nothing because nothing exists. In our reality, nothing exists. Nothing. I'm telling you, nothing. All this is light energy put together, being held together by our collective agreements and our personal agreements in consciousness. It is a fan in that shape because it's a collective agreement. That energy is holding it to be that. But immediately this agreement is scrambled like this, let me tell you, everything ceases to exist, even our bodies, and we become light. Nothing exists, people. I told someone God is nothing. We thought it was blasphemy. A television is in that shape because of total agreement. The creative power of humanity, because we are gods. We are the one holding everything in position, houses to be in that position, cars to move the way they do. Everything we are holding them by the total collective consciousness. The collective consciousness is what is holding light to form matter, to appear in physical form of each and every little thing. I'm telling you, if this total collective agreement of the planet is scrambled like this, nothing exists. Everything turns into a ball of light. Everything. Nothing exists here. We have got a long way to go. Very long way. We have got a very long way to go. The whole universe or the planets are held into form. It is light, compressed light. I don't know how it is be held by energy. Everything is light. All manifestation in the universe is just light. Even darkness, I'm telling you guys, it is light in another bandwidth. Everything is light. Nothing exists here. Your eyes are deceiving you. If there is one thing that deceives man, it's the eyes, the physical eyes. Nothing exists. Nothing exists. Nothing exists. Even outside of us, what is holding the TVs and the beds and everything, we can feel them. They are not that. That bed, that one is not wood. It is energy. It is your eyes that is seeing that, but your hands is not seeing that. It is expressed, is experiencing the energy. When it touches that, and it says you say it is called, it is experiencing that energy of that, and your eyes is seeing it in some other form. And when it falls down, your ears perceives it in other form of energy. I'm telling you, that bed which you are on sleeping right now on top of it, if this light just decides that the total, this planet only, that there is some place where there is a few, if there is a fuse somewhere where it can be just be unplugged, and when it is unplugged, the total agreement, the total collective consciousness just collapses. Let me tell you, you are on the bed and you are no longer there, and the bed is no longer there. Everything is a ball of light. Yourself, you are not there. That physical body is no longer there. From the nothingness, from the same nothingness is where God said, "Let there be." The state of nothingness. Let there be, and there was. Where God is in the state of nothingness, state of stillness. Nothing exists outside of Him. Even space, nothing is the state of nothingness. It doesn't have to move. It doesn't have competition. Nothing outside of Him. Nothing. Nothingness. And that is the I am. Who are you? I am. What? I am. I just am. Period. That is the state of nothingness. I just am. Without a title, I just am. Without a title, I just am. When you walk without any title and you just be, just I just am, you become that. I just am, you just are. You are everything. I just am, you are in the state of that ever expanding knowingness. Because I am. Every moment, God knows new, something new, because you are in the state of I am, just knowing. You are not stopping. You are with God, bumper to bumper, bumper to bumper. You are with God. You are not saying that I have discovered this. I don't. Mm-mm. That's why I tell you, Sheila. I tell you every day. Tomorrow, if I come with another definition of God, take it. To me, nothing attracts a final definition. Nothing. The universe is ever expanding, ever knowing, becoming new every time. Nothing has a final definition. To me, when a demon comes, other people they call them demons. Me, I don't call them. I don't give them identity. I do not give them identity because nothing becomes that until you give it identity. Then it becomes that. Me, I don't give it an identity. When a demon comes, I don't give it an identity. Immediately, you don't give something an identity. You have put it in suspense. Now you have the power to renew it and rename it. To renew it and to rename it to what you want it to become. It has become with black face, horns, it's a demon, scary. Me, no, it's not a demon. I'm not giving it an identity and it is confused. In the midst of confusion, I give it another name. I call it an angel. And it will become that because that is who we are. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. This is what you do not know. We can depolarize a demon and take it to light because darkness has got no energy by itself. And it is one with the light, but it is in the state of unmanifestation. To the light is where darkness belongs. It is just the unmanifested light. Therefore, we can manifest it to light. Any form of darkness, you can manifest it into light. Any form of darkness, you can manifest it into light. You can do that. You can, it's a demon, and you can push it or pull it to the light. But you, to fall into darkness, you don't need any demon to pull you. You do not need any demon to come to you. pull it to the darkness. It is a lie. It does not need any second. It needs you. Only one thing. Just forget that you are of light. Forget. Be in the state of forgetful that you are not one with God. That God does not reside within you. You are already in darkness. You just have to forget that you are of light. Period. Switch off the light. You don't need to work. You don't need someone to pull you. You don't need no Satan to come and pull you. You just have to switch off the light within you. There you are. It's called teleporting. This one is the most form of the easiest teleporting which humans can perform. Switching off the light, darkness is there. There's no Satan who's tempting or pushing anyone. Switch off your light, you are in darkness. Then to get the light, because the light cannot come without generation. Light is energy. Darkness is absence of light. It's not passive. Does not have energy because it is unmanifested light. That which can still, which there is a chance for it to be manifested into light. I'm reminding you. I'm reminding you one thing. Even all what I'm sharing with you are half truths. The grander truth is within them. I stop there and I'm very grateful for your time, you guys. I appreciate you. And we are all learners here. And we are all teachers because me, when Sheila speaks, I learn a lot. When Kamal speaks, I learn. When everyone speaks, I learn a lot. When I speak, people learn a lot. People, they say, Salim, we're learning from you a lot. No, this is a collective participation because actually most of the things I'm just always learning. When we are together like this, I learn a lot of things. That's why after this, I always go back again and listen to all what we have spoken, and I will learn a lot of things. So we are, Kamau said it's a journey because where this thing, I don't think we can give it a definition. We can say it is a journey, but yet again, it's not a journey. It is like we are taking it like evolution outward, but it is also the involution growing deep within as we grow outward. Evolution must go hand in hand with evolution. Involution, there's involvement there. Something got involved, then involution took place. And evolution is us manifesting that involution externally. That's why it is called evolution. It is evolve. It comes from the word evolve. Evolve has got only 4-letter characters. The word evolve, 4-letter characters. And these 4-letter characters are LOVE. Evolve has got only those 4-letter characters, which they spell love, is what evolution is. It is the outward expression of the inward involution, where inward involution, where there was the involvement of the one infinite creator or the Spirit of God for it to become involution and then to be manifested outward as evolution, which is what love is. Not unless we come to know to that and bringing to balance to that which is within, to align with that which is without, into one resonance and accord. Then we get to experience God. Period. It takes only that. But for me, what the funniest part of the whole story is that, ah, my God, all bullshit is just does not go above the sky. The sky is even above our beliefs. The the clouds are above our beliefs. That's why they are free. They are free. The reasons why as clouds move from one place to another, and they will go to some place and be still, and they will go anywhere. They lack nothing. They lack nothing. They need nothing. They're just there in the state of being all the moment. When you look at the clouds, they are at the state of being. Do you know why they are in the state of being? It's because all this bullshit is below the clouds. This bullshit we are having here, until you kneel down to God, until you do this and that, it does not reach the clouds. That's why there is a bliss there, up the clouds. There is bliss there. Bullshit is just down here, very heavy, dense. From the clouds coming down here, it's very dense. The other time I told someone, like,